Hello, my name is Marissa Fearman, and today is 7/24/2023, and I'm going to be doing a video on the anatomy and physiology of the retina. The reason why I chose to do the anatomy and physiology of the retina is because the eye is a very important function, and it kind of goes like a lot of people let it go over their head on how amazing our eyes truly are and how many things our eyes can tell, because you can get so many diagnoses from just looking at your eyes. And so I think that looking at why the eye is important in the communication and the needs behind it is very important. So first off, there's a lot of different parts of the eye that people may not consider. So you have the pupil, which is the black thing in your eye, and then your iris is what makes you have your eye color. You also have your upper and lower eyelid. You also have the bones that surround your eye. You have the sclera, which is also a really important feature. And there's glands within your eyes and nerves. And we'll get into that a little bit. We'll share a little definitions that are needed to be understood. But first off, the gland that I was talking about is the lacrimal gland that helps secrete tears that you may be experiencing if you get upset, or if you have runny eyes sometimes. That's the lacrimal gland secreting tears. You have the orbit, which that's the bony cavity around your eye, like I explained. You have the pupil, which is the black portion that helps opening light, and it can pass through the interior of the eye. So the pupil, as we know, that can change in size depending on how contracted your body is or your eyes are, and it also can be really relaxed. And if your pupils are really dilated, a lot of things can be told just through your eyes, as I said. And then your lens that helps focus on you seeing far, seeing close. It has to do with it, either if the lens is bent or if it's straight. And then you also have aqueous humor, which is kind of like plasma. It's fluid filling, and that's between the cornea and the lens of the eye. That's more that you could see from the outside of the eye. But on my diagram on the inside, my diagram's right here. From the inside of the eye, you have the ciliary body, you have the ciliary zonule, you have the sclera, the retina, the optic nerve, the optic disc, which that deals with your blind spot. But there's a lot of different features that go into just the eye, and a lot of things that we don't see that are needed for the eye to function. The eye is a very important thing that relays an individual to know if they can or can't see. It also lets people know if they have color blindness, or if they can't see certain colors of light, or if they think something's blue when it's really green. You would have to do color tests to figure that out, and it's all based on the eyes. So going back to that aqueous humor, so that flows and gets secreted through the pupil, and then it drains out through the canal. If that flow is disturbed, the aqueous humor will start to accumulate, and that can cause pressure in the eye. So a lot of people that have that, they may have something called glaucoma. So glaucoma, it causes little like blind spots or blindness in your eye. It like makes your focus like, normally you can have peripheral vision, but if you have glaucoma, you can only really like, it gets blocked out from here, and you just see everything straight ahead, and you'd have to turn to see your peripheral or tunnel vision. So that is something that people with glaucoma have. That is due to the pressure buildup in the eye from that aqueous humor. So a lot of people get that treated with either some eye surgery or some eye drops that you can get at your local pharmacy, prescribed to you, obviously. But yeah, and then there are different pathways that the eye can travel to let things know in your brain. There are different functions, and your eye can signal your brain to think something different than what it actually is. How light travels up to the brain, it's through the retina to the thalamus, and then it's to the visual cortical area. And within the retina, you do have a few different types of functions. So you have the rods and the cones, you have the ganglion cells, and you have the bipolar cells. And then it travels to the optic nerve, which then further will distinguish to the thalamus, where that's where you have the lateral body. And then from the thalamus, that's when it really triggers an area in the brain. So it triggers the visual cortical area, and that is where you primarily will have your visual cortex on what you truly are seeing. There are a lot of different other functions that do go in with the eye. Light will first travel through the cornea, which gives, a clear covering of the anterior surface of the eye, and then photoreceptors will shape the lens into seeing what it really does see. If you have a sensitivity to light, that is because your retina is not focused, and it needs to get focused with the cornea and the lens to help make you not sensitive to light. That's a lot of the times it's what blue colored eye people have, is because the photosensitivity in their eyes are needing to adjust. And then, as I explained, the lateral glenorate is where the optic nerves synapse, and they cause neurons to go into the visual cortex. So there's a little brief description. And then you have the optic disc, or the optic nerve, as well. That's in the thalamus. That is where neurons of the visual pathway are formed, and they are formed by the optic nerve. So it goes from the optic nerve to the optic disc, and then there are a lot of other pathways that the light can travel, but these are just the main ones. And having communication on the nerves working together to get that picture image that we do see is very important, because like patients in glaucoma, they don't have the full seeing ability as other individuals do, along with the people that have color blindness. They don't see what is normal. So communication on how to fix those things, or even communication within the eye, is very important, because someone may think they're seeing the right thing, but they're really not. So you need to have a clear understanding on that information. And when light comes into contact with the eye, there are many different factors that have to happen before we do see the true image. And when light reflects on, let's say, like a bottle of water, what we see is something totally different, because of how it's reflecting off of that glass of water. So it's just very interesting to know that even though they're just eyes, that they do have a true meaning, and they do need to communicate with other things before we see the true image of something in front of us. Thank you.